Good evening and welcome to Living by Oak Value. So, tonight it's going to be a solo episode. AJ is not feeling up to par tonight. So, it's just me. And last week we talked about integrity. This week I want to still continue on integrity, but I want to talk about how it blends into everything else that we do or that you're going to do with your integrity. So I'm going to start with this. So today at church, we talked about, or the pastor showed us a triangle, and it was the three questions that God asked. And those three questions are questions that everybody should be asking themselves. And those questions are: who told you? Where are you? And what have you done? So, who told you? That is your faith. Where are you? That's your conviction. And what have you done? That's where integrity falls in line. So, what is it that you have done is where integrity falls in line. Before I go any further, I want to tell you guys go to northmancoaching.com, get my free ebook. It's called The First 30 Days, and that's going to get you through the first 30 days after you've been told that she wants a divorce, a separation, or a breakup. Generally, most men in those first 30 days, they lose it. They react versus respond. This book is a book that I made from my experiences going through divorce, and it will teach you. I pretty much took everything I did and flipped it. So it will teach you how to respond versus react. So go to northmancoaching.com. It's right on the homepage. Get your free ebook. And I'll be doing a class on it in the very near future. I did one yesterday. It went very well. So check that out. Anyway, got the chat here. Hang on. It's nobody. It is somebody. Hang on. It's my brother. What's going on, Matt? So trying to think of where I was now that I only have just me. So integrity. So what have you done is where your integrity is. So remember, integrity isn't proven by what you say. It's proven by how you act. So you can say whatever you want, but how you act, that is your integrity. And the next thing that we talked about at church today, this is all going to come in together. It's not all going to be church related, but is the pastor showed us a sign, and it said voices equal values, values equal action, and actions equal lifestyle. So on that note, the voices. So who are you listening to? Are you listening to social media? Are you listening to your parents? Are you listening to God? Are you listening to yourself? And whoever you're listening to, that is going to determine your values. Hey, Joel, what's up, brother? It's there's no gentleman, just one gentleman tonight. That's me, sir. Anyway, so who you're listening to is going to determine your values. And your values are going to determine your actions. And your actions are going to determine your lifestyle. So it would go backwards. Your lifestyle proves your actions, which proves your values, which proves who you listen to. So it's so important on who you're listening to. So if you're listening to the neighbor and all their gossip, you're in trouble. I would suggest listening to what God's telling you, or a coach or a therapist or someone that you trust. That is who I would be listening to. I don't want to get controversial, but I'm going to. But I'm not going to get political. So everybody knows, and if you don't know, then you got to climb out from under the rock. First, I want to show everybody my cool coffee cup that I'm drinking my tea out of. Sessions and lessons. So something happened in Minnesota this week, and I'm not going to get political on this, but I meditate every single day. And when I saw this, I do provocative meditation. So when I get to a meditative state, I put myself in a very unrealistic situation so that I can get my body to kind of react as if it was really happening. Not respond, but react. So get my heart rate pumping, I start sweating, I almost get a little mad. With this whole situation, I started meditating, and I am a divorced parent. I have a daughter, and I tried to put myself in this spot that her mother was no longer here. So I was the only caretaker for her. And this story point behind the story is that I want to coach men to be men, better dads. So this is really about being a better dad, a better parent, and really listening to God, listening to the right thing, using your discernment. So I got into this meditative state, and my ex-wife, or my daughter's mother, was out of the picture, completely gone. And I thought about getting into this car, going wherever I had to go, and interfering with these federal officers. Now, my kid is at school that I should probably be picking up at some point in time. It's the middle of the day. And what happens if I get arrested? Who's going to pick her up? I'm the only caregiver, and I'm out causing chaos. What if I should die? Then who would raise my daughter? Who would look after her? So, and I know that this world is very divided right now. And I know that I'm not going to take sides on this situation. Well, I will take sides because as a parent, your sole job in this world is to look after your child, to raise your child so they can be a productive human being. It is not your job is not to go and make chaos and get on camera and be on TikTok and be on whatever. Your job is to go home, raise your kid, and raise them properly. So that's where I guess that's my controversial part of my podcast tonight. And like I said, I'm not going to get political, but for every man out there and every woman that's watching this episode tonight, it's important. If you're a parent, I mean, your job is to raise your kid. Just really think about what you're doing. I try so hard to be there and have integrity and show my values and walk a righteous path, not just for me, not just for my clients, but for my daughter. For my daughter more than anything, because I want her to live like I live. I want her to see how to live. People don't think they have knee-jerk reaction. Yes, and Joel, you're 100% correct. They have, knee-jerk reactions, and I've watched that video a million times. Maybe not a million. That's a lot. Uh, but and I could bet you anything in the world that woman had no intention of hurting anybody that day. She was just going. I'm fairly sure that she was just going to cause trouble, be whatever, and being in the military and seeing some action. Like, I know what it's like when the situation gets crazy, when the chaos is out of control, when the noises are very loud. Some of the noises aren't even there; they're just up here. They're just up here. Your heart is racing. You're sweating. You don't know what to do. So in those moments, you have knee-jerk reactions. And so I guess the point I'm trying to say is don't put yourself into those spots where you will have those knee-jerk reactions. Cliff Shuffler has made it. That is excellent, brother. Not a good situation either way you look at it. Tragedy. Yes, absolutely. And that's really what I'm getting at is there are no winners in this situation at all. It is a absolute tragedy. But the point why I'm bringing it up on this podcast is because if I'm going to help men, become better fathers, it's important that if you are a sole parent, no partner to raise your kid or kids, it's important that you really don't have those knee-jerk reactions and that you think about where you are and how you are going to raise your child. How are you going to show them the right way? It's not going to work when you're dead. It's not going to work when you're in jail. And it's not going to work when that's it. When you're dead or in jail, really, I guess. Yeah, Matt, some people don't think. It's the honest God truth. So back to integrity. I think I'm done with this whole rant for the Minnesota thing. But the bottom line is be a good parent. Really sit down and think. Think about the life that you have lived. Think about the integrity. Think about the values. And how will you instill that upon your kids? You can't instill anything when you're not here. So be smart. No room to be selfish. Otherwise, you get in an ending like the one that happened. Yep, it's unfortunate. So, and on that note, sort of sidetracked, partially on that note, I guess, when the voices you listen to, if they're not God or somebody, if you are choosing to listen to the media over what's inside your heart, if you're choosing to listen to algorithms instead of having conviction, if your integrity shows up in your actions and your actions are anger driven, you need to stop and cool down. Not only parent, but good human. Yeah, yes, true, good human, but I'm shooting to the parents because I think about that poor kid. And I know that I read in the news that the father was already gone. He's dead. So that kid has nobody left. And I cannot imagine intentionally doing something like that. Yeah. So you don't build a lifestyle accidentally. You live the results of what you repeatedly honor. So think about who you're listening to. Think about what's causing you to react. Yeah. And that's where the values come in. So back to what I do with the values. Living by oak values. Know your core values, live your core values. And I think that's where I'm going to open the floor for questions. I want to tell you guys that today we are sponsored by an unpaid sponsor. I just made this up, actually. I've downloaded a new book last night to listen to while I'm sleeping, since Joel hasn't come up with his guided meditation yet. It is bedtime Bible stories for adults. It is really awesome. This woman talks about the Bible. She reads the Bible in this voice, and it's just, man, you're gone. It's great. I love it. Wendy Christina. Wendy, be mindful of your surroundings. Protect your children at all costs. Absolutely. Embrace what's in front of you. Praying for that child. What's up, Glow? How we doing? Miss anything here? No, maybe. Yeah. So I guess it's going to be a short podcast tonight, which is fine. So AJ was not feeling up to it, and this is what my my TikTok lives all week were working up to, was going solo on YouTube and Facebook. I guess I could have pulled up TikTok on something else, but I still cannot stream TikTok from here. They want me to do like 180 days or some crap now. I don't know. So I will continue to jump through hoops as long as I can until I can't. So that's where that goes. So still drinking tea out of this awesome cup, guys. Check out this podcast if you have not done so yet. They had a new episode drop today. It was actually pretty good. What have we learned so far, or thus far, or something along those lines? Gary, how do you determine your core values? You determine your core values by what you believe. So when I was trying to find my core values, I did 100 core values on index cards and I laid them out on the floor. And out of those 100, I picked 20 of them or something along those lines. And from those 20, I picked 10 of them and I narrowed them down to what meant the most. And I lived my life by those. And yes, the Oak Values deck, which are not for sale anymore. Sorry, I did good. Thanks. Start of life, you're late, and I am almost done because I'm solo tonight. But I can sit here and shoot the shit. I don't care. Got my cup, got my tea. It's still full, so we can talk all night. Love the poncho. I had one back. So let's talk about this poncho. Actually, this is a good one. I bought this poncho in Mexico. This is an official Mexican drug rug. The cards are not available, but since I have your address, Joel, you have one coming your way in turn for the mug. So they're not for sale, but I still have some, so I will send you one. So yeah, I was in Puerto Vallarta on a men's retreat. I was down in the, I don't know, off the beaten path, and this lady was selling these, and I forget what she was asking, but I talked her down, and I got like 5 of them for 20 American bucks, maybe. So good deal. So yes, this is an official Mexican drug rug. Poncho's way gangsta. Thanks. Appreciate that. So, and if you're just coming in like Search of Life was, go to my website, www.northbandcoaching.com, and get my free 30-day ebook. It will walk you through the first 30 days of a divorce, a separation, a breakup, how to respond versus react. So go get that book, sign up for it, and I'm going to have a class coming up here in the near future. I will nail that date down sooner than later, I think. Also, every Thursday, we have the men's group at northmancoaching.com under resources and upcoming events. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Check that out. We just, bunch of guys, we get together and we have deep conversations. And if you have questions or you think you need help with anything, we are there for you. So check that out. Joel, you had one in the 90s, and the 90s were good. That's why I bought it, because I was trying to bring the 90s back. I would do anything to bring the 90s back. Life was much more sane back then, and I had less wrinkles and less gray hair. So yes, I would take the 90s any day. Amber, what's up, brother? You came in kind of late. You missed the whole episode. All good though, short. All right, so I guess I'm gonna wrap it up with that. So next week I will hopefully be back with AJ. He, like I said, he was under the weather tonight, in some pain with his arm. You all know that he lost his arm, so yeah, he's in some pain. He had to go see the doctor, and yeah. So all right, I'm gonna wrap it up. So I will see you guys next week. Actually, I'm gonna go live on TikTok as much as humanly possible this week. I bet you did have hair, brother. I bet you did. Very good. All right, you guys have a great night, and I'll see you on TikTok this week, and I'll see you Thursday for the men's group and next Sunday for the next podcast. All right, guys, have a good one.